The brand new A24 film that's hitting theaters on July 10th. The film's co-written by Rashida Jones and Will McCormick, and also is directed by Olivia Wilde. This is their third film after Booksmart and Don't Worry, Darling. Wilde stars as well as Seth Rogen as Angela and Joe, a married couple who've been together for over a decade. They have a teenage daughter. But things are clearly not going well. They're both very frustrated and miserable with their lives. But that also includes Joe, played by Rogen, being very frustrated with the noise that is being made upstairs by their upstairs neighbors, who are Pina, played by Penelope Cruz, and Hawk, played by Edward Norton. But when he comes home from work one day, he then realizes that Angela, without him knowing, invited them over for dinner, saying that they are very interested in checking out the renovations to their apartment. But Seth Rogen, his character Joe, is not that happy that he's having this party with his wife and these neighbors, and he begins to open up his feelings about the situation, and things begin to spiral as these couples begin learning about each other throughout the evening. The film is an hour and 47 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. We're talking The Invite. Luckily, I got a chance to get this early screening for you guys, a week and a half early. Really happy about that. Again, your support lets me be able to be invited to these screenings, so really appreciate all you guys' support. I was very excited for this movie. Olivia Wilde was the definition of a hit or miss director after her first two films. Booksmart is one of my favorite movies of the last decade. I at least watch it once a year. It is the most relatable high school experience I've ever seen of my high school experience. And it's a very relatable movie that every time I think of it, I think of my really great days in high school. So I always go back to watch Booksmart. Don't Worry, Darling, bad movie. Even though Florence Pugh, Chris Pine are great, she's good, and the directing is good, that movie is a mess and a complete opposite of what I thought about Booksmart. So this was an intriguing film because obviously we would see if Olivia Wilde is a fluke director who got off to a really good start but can't really do better than that, or is she like the director like Don't Worry, Darling? So that's what I was excited for to check out with this movie, and I thought this was a thoroughly enjoying experience. This movie is definitely a comedy. It is a mystery-esque movie because every 10 or 15 minutes in the movie, as these conversations happen with the two couples, new things are revealed. This movie can be quite sad, reflecting, depressing, but also very funny from the onset until the very end of the movie. I think a great way to sum this movie up is relatable. And relatability really comes through this couple played by Rogen and Wilde. I think a lot of couples are going to be very relatable to this main couple because Joe, played by Seth Rogen, is a guy who used to be in a band, but really now doesn't want to touch an instrument anymore. He's embarrassed by his job. He's embarrassed where he's living, and you'll understand that when you watch the movie. And don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything here. And Olivia Wilde, she's getting really depressed because I'll just say she's also very depressed in this relationship as well. And the way they're talking to each other, it's all resentment, and that comes to full force when they have to interact with other people. They clearly don't have any friends, and Olivia Wilde trying to put on this entire show for Penelope Cruz and Edward Norton's character, and Seth Rogen just is very honest, and that's what I think is really funny. Seth Rogen easily plays the most relatable character in this film. He does a lot of the eye rolling. He says a lot of what people think in these situations out loud. And this, as I said, it's a really tight script from Rashida Jones and Will McCormick because this movie takes place in one night. It feels really seamless because it feels like a one take throughout the entire movie of this is the characters, it's happening in this hour and a half span, this dinner, things happen. And that is really tough to do from a script perspective as well as a filmmaking perspective, which I'm about to get into. But the script is really tight. I was never bored watching this movie. I was either really emotionally invested in what was going on or I was laughing throughout the entire film. That is really tough to do when you're basically just sitting down and talking for over 100 minutes. And this movie accomplishes that. But as I said, this also might not go down as a grand filmmaking success for most people, but I think it really is for Olivia Wilde. This movie takes place basically 99% of the time in this one apartment. It's a big apartment, but one apartment. And I never felt bored or stale staying in this apartment throughout the entire movie. It's very lived in. not just by our characters, but by characters we don't even know in the movie. They use particular spaces very well. And that's tough for a director to make one room, basically, or one home, the entire film without it feeling stale, boring, or useless. But this movie always feels necessary to be in this one spot the entire time. And Olivia Wilde makes a lot out of nothing because this movie, of course, takes place in one spot. The acting is, of course, sublime in this movie. Rogen and Penelope Cruz are the standouts. Rogen has all of the best lines. I think he will make everyone laugh throughout the entire film. But this is a very different version of Penelope Cruz, which I really enjoyed. Sometimes she can go a bit crazy. She can be sexy. She can be hilarious. She kind of brings it all to the table. And her and Rogen also have really good chemistry in the movie. I also think Olivia Wilde gives a lot of good eye looks throughout the entire film, because every time her husband starts saying stuff that's truthful, she's like, please stop saying that, please stop saying that. And she delivers that all from facial reactions. And she is really good. Edward Norton's always good in movies like this. So I really enjoyed the cast. They all have really good chemistry together. The score is really good. I think this will go down as one of the funnier movies of the year. My biggest issue with the movie, which will hold it back from being like a top 5 movie of the year for me, is the way some things happen in the third act. The movie is nonstop hilarious for the first, I would say, an hour 25 of the movie. The movie takes a very sharp turn to be very dramatic in the final 20 minutes of the movie. And while I think the ending is very satisfying, I just think from a script perspective, while it's a very tight script, it does come out of the blue, going from really an over-the-top funny scene, and now we're getting this very depressing, dramatic situation, and I didn't think they knew how to get there flowingly correctly. So it kind of came out of the blue, and it kind of took me like 5 to 10 more minutes into the scene to kind of get used to this is what the movie's becoming now. I do think if it didn't come out of the blue, this would be like a top 5 movie of the year. I do think it's the biggest issue in how to get from this very over the top at times, really straightforward comedy movie to very sad, very depressing, very dramatic, very quickly. So I still thought this was excellent. It is funny. It is reflective. It's relatable. The cast is fantastic. The filmmaking from Wilde is really on point. I highly recommend The Invite when it comes out in mid-July. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. I am going 83% for The Invite. Let me know your thoughts on the movie down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Patreon, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.